What is up, everyone? Welcome to the RotoBros Sports Fantasy Football Show. We are back. I'm Todd Stender, one of your hosts. Joining me, as always, is my brother Brad. What's up, man?
What's up, team? What's going on? How we doing?
It's weird. We haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, ready to talk some football?
And we're
ready
live.
to be wrong?
And we're live, so that's even more nerve-wracking.
I know. It's almost like we're amateurs.
I know, but it's August, and it's time to talk football because I've been getting just absolutely mashed in baseball the last, 3 weeks. So I need to, avert my attention somewhere else.
Yeah. So, baseball sucks, so let's just move on. So, if we're going to do football, I think we should just start with quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's why we're here. We're talking quarterbacks. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're just going to kind of go tier by tier down my rankings because mine are probably more accurate than yours. So we're just going to kind of go through my tiers, and I just kind of want to get your take on their ADPs, on the kind of players in general, situations, and all that. So the first one will be pretty quick. My first tier is just Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. I don't think we need to spend too much time there.
No, I guess we really don't. So it's pretty straightforward, right? I have Aaron Rodgers as the clear-cut number one. He was horrible for the first 8 games last year, and he still finished the number one scoring fantasy quarterback, and he had the highest points per game. He averaged 28.5 fantasy points over the last 8 weeks of the season. So, that just shows – and that's with Devontae Adams, being the second most important player on the team. It's mind-boggling what he did with those weapons. He's just special. And then Tom Brady, the Patriots throw a million times. They added Brandon Cooks. And they play in that garbage division against the Jets, the Bills, and the Finns. Their schedule is not that bad.
Their schedule is actually one of the easiest, I think. The division being a big part of it. I don't know. You had the strength of schedule data up. You said.
It's 18. So when we talk about strength of schedule, guys, just so everyone knows, we're referring to strength of schedule based on last year's number of points a defense gave up to quarterbacks.
Right. So when you own these guys at their prices, their current ADPs, which is
would I own them?
Round, will you end up with any Aaron Rodgers in redraft?
No. I normally don't end up. Somehow I always end up with Rodgers because I'm a Packers fan, but I never draft him. I just steal him from some moron.
Yeah, he's got that mid-second round ADP. That's just way too much, especially with the depth at quarterback. We've been doing
and we're gonna get into that later.
I've never seen this number of quarterbacks that I'd be comfortable having as my one quarterback that I keep in my roster.
Yeah, I think there's only 6 guys that I would really roster as being the only guy, but there's definitely some depth. So the question, why is Drew Brees not in your top tier?
I guess his splits would be a big part of it.
We're talking his home road splits.
Yeah,
I'm assuming
his home road, his indoor-outdoor splits. I don't.
Yeah,
so I did 8 games of the year where
I have his home road splits. I don't have his indoor-outdoor splits. But so if you actually take his road stats, he put up 18.5 points per game on the road, right? Which is based on the average would have been the 6th best of any fantasy quarterback last year. Let's say, for instance, Russell Wilson put up 16.9 points. Dak for the whole season put up 17.9. So Drew Brees on the road per average is still better than those guys who are considered QB1s. And he put up 23.5 at home.
He's a QB1 for sure. It's just I think there are going to be games on the road in December where you're going to be I don't feel great about Drew Brees today, and that's not a feeling.
No, that's definitely true. So like I said, he put up 18.5. Yeah, he put up 18.5. As an average on the road, but he had 4 games with less than 15 minutes.
So it's just it's right. He's right there with those guys. I have him number 3. It's just there are going to be games. Aaron Rodgers and Brady. There's never going to be a game under any circumstances where I consider not playing them in most redraft leagues. I'm not picking someone up off the waiver wire to start over Tom Brady. I'm probably not doing that with Drew Brees either. But there might be situations where I'd rather start Marcus Mariota than Drew Brees or something.
I guess that's one way to look at it. I just so after Drew Brees, I don't consider any of these guys after him in his class, and that's why I have him in tier 1. Unless you want to call it tier 1A, we can do that. I'm fine with that.
Well,
because I don't think he with Rodgers and Brady, but
I have Brady and Rodgers, so I think we're done with that tier. We'll move on to the next one. I have Breeze, Matt Ryan, Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson, and Kirk Cousins in my second tier.
In that order?
Yeah, Breeze, Ryan, Luck, Wilson, Cousins.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty similar. I'm Ryan, Wilson, Luck, and then Cam. Actually, I'm a little lower on Cousins than you, and I'll explain why in a sec. Matt Ryan worries me a little bit, just with his kind of fourth round ADP.
Yeah, it's really late. Yeah, fourth, late third in 12-team leagues.
Yeah,
like, that's just
I don't
early.
I don't feel great about that. So here's some things about Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, first of all, he had Kyle Shanahan last year, and he went bananas. Okay, and a lot of that is and some of some of these things that we're going to go over are sustainable, and some of them aren't. Right. So last year, Atlanta had led the league in yards after reception. That's sustainable. A lot of those guys are back. Julio Jones is still there. They're still even dumped it to Coleman and Freeman. Sanu's still there. Taylor Gabriel's still there. So they still have home run hitters. So you got to like that. But he had the highest depth of target average in 16 years. That's not sustainable. That's coming back down. I guess you could say his QB rating was 18 points higher than it's ever been, right? That's like, so it's either like he hit a career year and a peak, or he like found a new level. I'm thinking it's more of a career year.
I mean, right. I don't know.
I expect him to have a good year, but a less good year than last year, where he was the number 2 fantasy quarterback.
I think that's fine, but I like him over everybody else that I have after him. I mean, what's your take on Andrew Luck? Like, what's this? What do you do with him with this?
I want to move him all the way down the board because the last I heard he might miss more than one game.
I mean, just from a raw projection perspective, I have him. I feel fine about him at number 5, but I don't think he's someone I'm gonna end up with this year. With the shoulder, and I think that team just fucking sucks. Like, they have no. I mean, T.Y. Hilton's awesome, but I mean, 33-year-old Frank Gore, a shitty offensive line. Like, what are the odds that he plays the whole season? Has he played a whole season in the last like three seasons?
Well, so the thing with Andrew Luck, like as far as like the supporting cast thing, the supporting cast is terrible, but they've been terrible, right? So I don't think that's really going to impact him. What is the problem is the offensive line. He led the league in hits taken last year, right? So think about how much Cam gets hit.
Yeah.
And how much attention they pay to Cam getting hit. Andrew Luck gets hit more than Cam.
Yeah, I feel good about him at just from a raw scoring perspective. I think 5 is right.
Yeah. I have to see his schedule. His schedule is not great. It's the 24th.
And he's got to play Jalen Ramsey, the God, twice. So
yeah, they're going to have to play Jacksonville's defense and Houston's defense 4 times, which I don't love.
I think that defense, every defense in that.
They're not stopping anybody, so they're going to have to shut you. My concern with Andrew Luck is health. That's it, really.
Yeah.
The talent is there.
The shoulder thing is making me nervous. I mean, he's going to miss basically all of the preseason and all of camp.
Yeah, he might miss week 1, and they're saying he might go on the PUP list, and he's on the PUP list, he missed 6 weeks. If he's only missing week 1, I'm not moving him up my board. I have him on 6. I think him minus 1 game, and you plug in, a Tyrod Taylor, someone who has an easy schedule. Someone who has an easy schedule in the beginning of the season, then you're fine. You're gonna get 55 6 value out of him.
You have Wilson ahead of him?
I do. So the thing about Russell Wilson, right? So last year Russell Wilson had his worst running year in yards and touchdowns, and he still finished in the top 10.
Yep.
That team could not move the ball. They couldn't run the ball.
I don't think they can run the ball again, though.
Their offensive line's never been good. I expect Eddie Lacy breaks tackles and is elusive. He's good. They're going to be able to run the ball.
Fat Eddie Lacy is not better than Kristen Michael. Let's just get that out there. Like,
that's ridiculous.
He's not better.
I love Kristen Michael.
They had Kristen Michael last year, and they couldn't run they couldn't run the ball. So how are they going to run with Fat Eddie Lacy? There's no way Russell Wilson's improved.
Because Fat Eddie Lacy had the number 2 elusive rate in the average 5 yards per carry.
I'm just joking.
Fat Eddie Lacy's good.
He sucks. The offensive line sucks. I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's any way he improved. I don't feel great about projecting him for improving his rushing.
What? Why? He had the worst rushing year of his entire career, and half of that, and that's because he had a bad ankle for 6 weeks. He doesn't have a bad ankle.
If he's healthy, fine. And rushing touchdowns for quarterbacks, I think, are so fluky.
It's not touchdowns; it's yards, man. He had career low in yards.
Yeah, I know. Right. I don't see that. I don't see how that is going to get better this year. The situation is no different from it was last year. I mean,
I do. It's health. It's all about health.
More healthy. So
that's my argument, right? And Jimmy Graham's not coming off that bad injury. Jimmy Graham's a good football player. They got weapons.
Jimmy Graham this year.
What?
I love Jimmy Graham this year.
Yeah, he's good. We can move on off him.
Okay.
Um,
I got Kirk Cousins next.
all right, so we talked about Cousins. I have Kirk. You have Kirk Cousins at 7.
Yeah.
I have Kirk Cousins at 8. So we're not that far
Oh,
off.
I thought you made it seem like you had him way lower.
Yeah, I thought I had him a lot lower. So here's where why I've moved him like 30 times. So here's the thing about Kirk Cousins. So his strength of schedule is 31st. He's a murderer's row schedule, right? They play Denver, they play Kansas City, they play the Chargers, they play the Seahawks, they play the Vikings, they play the Giants twice, they play the Eagles twice. So they have murderous row defense, but their defense sucks, their running game sucks, and they're gonna have to throw it a ton.
Yeah. So what I like about him is obviously the volume is there, right? They're going to be one of the 5 pass heaviest teams in the league, so that's great.
I agree.
And I think he was on the wrong side of touchdown variance last year. Like they couldn't. He only threw
He only had 25.
He only 20. I think it was like 28, right? Or
25 touchdowns, 12 picks.
but for the volume that he was throwing the ball, and like it seemed like the amount of points that they were scoring, like he should have had like 35 touchdowns. So I think if you bump his touchdown total to 34 and keep his yards projection where he's at, like he's easily he's pushing for top 5. And I think having Josh Doxson and Terrell Pryor, like Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon are not red zone targets. They're not great red zone targets. Obviously Jordan Reed is, but you can never rely on him. It looks like he's already seen the specialist, so I don't know if he's even going to be there come week 1. But I think the red zone.
Do you have any concern? Do you have any concern about the early weeks in the season, him gelling with new receivers, because they have new starters on both sides?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're going to get tons of reps together in practice. I'm not really worried about that. Plus, Terrell Pryor is such a freak. You don't need to fucking zip it through a window. You just put it near him.
Yeah,
I think the red zone offense is going to be a lot more efficient. And like you said, they have no running game. Like they're going to have to throw in the red zone, and they had to last year. They just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, no, and I agree, and I like it. I like his ADP. So, I mean, he's going 95th.
Yeah, so Russell Wilson, who I have right in front of him, is going at 67th overall, and then you drop 1 to Kirk Cousins in my rankings, and he's going 95th.
So let's do it this way, right?
After him are all being drafted ahead of him.
Yeah, so I have Cam ahead of him in my rankings, but Cam is getting drafted 20 spots ahead of him. I'm not going to own Cam. I might own Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
We can talk about Cam. Do you want to talk about Cam right now?
No. I'm not even close to Cam. We're not even close to him.
Okay. All right.
So, all right. So that's kind of my tier 2. Out of this group, the only one that I'll probably end up owning is Cousins, just from an ADP. I'm not going to be spending a 5th round pick on Russell Wilson, a 3rd round on Matt Ryan. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely not.
You are not going to own any of these guys either?
No.
Okay, so we can move on. Tier 3. This is the gross tier, the tier that I actually don't really like anyone from this tier, but I guess the tier after them I like a lot more, but I felt like I had to put, from a raw points perspective, I guess they're lower. You have to project them lower, but these guys I'm just not going to have any. It's Derek Carr, Dak Prescott, Ben Roethlisberger, and Cam Newton in that order.
Oh, the only one I even have. Yeah, this is where we need to talk. All right, so let's start with Cam. Where do you have Cam?
I have Cam 8, 9.
That's our big difference, I think.
I have Cam at 11 after Carr,
Prescott. Why do you hit Cam?
Well, he was terrible last year. He had the least accurate season, a bottom 5 accuracy season in NFL history.
Fifth worst one ever.
Yeah, he sucks. And
he won the MVP the year before. Did you know that?
No, fine. But they lost the GOAT Ted Ginn Jr., right? So that's not good. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is going to help this offense, but I don't feel good about saying a rookie is going to really improve a quarterback's
Did you watch him shake Luke Kuechly the other day? That's pretty good.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Did you know he has the 3rd easiest schedule against quarterbacks in the NFL?
Wait, say that again?
Yeah. Did you know Cam has the 3rd easiest schedule in the NFL?
They might be the worst team in their division. They are the worst team in their division.
They're going to win 10 games. And Cam Newton's going to have a good year. So, I mean, the one concern, right, is the design running, right? How much do they cut down on that? Last year was his career low in rushing touchdowns.
Those aren't things that go up as you get older.
we haven't seen anyone like Cam, right? So it's not really.
Yeah, I
It's
guess
that's
just
tough
common
to say.
sense dictates it, but and the trends of the last 3 seasons of it going down every year, at least design
I
runs.
mean, he scored. Dude, I think he had his career high in touchdowns 2 years ago. What are you talking
Yeah, but
about?
that like a lot of that's noise. That's just variance. It's like they get down there and he takes
Yeah, and
off.
last year it was down, and this year it could come back
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Well, no, I mean design plays aren't variance.
Look,
That's
I love
design.
Cam for the schedule, man. The running is gravy. Running is gravy. That schedule is cake.
How can you project Cam for a better season than Derek Carr, fantasy points wise?
The schedule. Derek Carr has the second hardest. He has the hardest. Cam Newton has the third easiest. Next.
Like I think there's no weapons.
It's already done.
He has
Derek Carr is so overrated. Derek Carr over the
I
last.
don't love Derek Carr. I'm not going to have any of them. I just don't.
Derek
see
Carr
how
averaged 14 points over the last 8 weeks. He was trash for 8 weeks.
Okay, what about Dak Prescott over Cam Newton? How do you do that?
Oh, all right. I mean, I have Dak here. Let me figure out where I have Dak. I think I have him.
They have to have similar rushing projections.
I have Dak at 11. Yeah, they probably do. But that goes down.
Dak's going to get more designed opportunities, and they're going to kind of really turn him loose this year. I think the first half of the last season they didn't really let him do anything, and he still finished 11th. Like the first 6 weeks.
I don't know. That team is just never going to throw a lot, man. Their defense is so bad.
They're not going to be as good this year. They're going to lose
Yeah.
a lot more games.
Well, what they're going to need to do is control the ball, and they're going to do that by running the ball, not by throwing it. And Dak Prescott is not going to throw the ball.
They're going to be losing more. They're going to have to throw more. They were ahead.
No, they're going to. I don't buy that, right? I mean, I think their defense isn't stopping anyone, but the way they're going to play, because their defense wasn't good last. There was no talent on that defense last year, Todd. What they did was they held the ball the whole game. They're going to hold the ball the whole game again. That's how they're going to win. They're not going to be just last year. They're going to win 9 or 10 games, 8 to 10. And that's it. I don't hate Dak, but I hate his ADP.
If you look at Dak and Cam Newton side by side, physically they're very similar. But I'm just talking from a situation perspective. Dak checks all the boxes that Cam. All the negatives for Cam are positives for Dak. Offensive line, weapons, red zone targets, situation. He's better. He's got everything.
Except volume. It checks all the boxes except volume and schedule and. You know what the best prediction for fantasy points are?
I'm not going to throw 45 times a game.
The best projection for fantasy points is volume, schedule, and talent. And Cam Newton has all 3 of those.
All right. So yeah, we're not super far apart. I won't have any Cam Newton at 75th overall.
I probably won't either. I'm just higher on him than you.
Yeah.
I won't have any Dak. Where's Dak at? 69?
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't have any Dak either. That's nonsense.
What's your take on Ben Roethlisberger?
Hate him. Get him off my board. It's trash. I can't eat. Well, the thing about Ben is he can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy, and you can't trust him on the road.
Yeah, he really, really stinks on the road the last 3 years. Not like Drew Brees kind of splits, unplayable bad. You have to have 2 quarterbacks on your roster if Ben is your starter. I was listening to that ESPN podcast, and Field Yates was saying that the upside with Ben will have you rostering 2 quarterbacks. I'm like, that's fucking nonsense. So you're gonna roster 2 quarterbacks all year so you can start Ben in his home game against the Browns? That makes no fucking sense to me.
Yeah, I'm not buying that. I mean, yeah, he averaged 18 points a game, right? He was effective when he was good. He was horrible when he was bad. I don't know, man. I don't like that he's in his mid-30s and runs around and takes hits.
That offense is going to score points. They're going to be maybe the highest scoring offense in the league. They might be.
Yeah, Ben's going to win you some weeks, but he's going to murder you some weeks. He's going to get hurt.
Ben is the ultimate best ball quarterback.
He's going to get hurt.
Yeah,
in
your
you
best
can't count on it.
So that you can get the good weeks and fade the bad weeks.
All right. So he's going 1 spot ahead of Kirk Cousins. I'd rather have Kirk Cousins than as a roster quarterback.
No, 94. Okay, I was looking at it wrong. Yeah. Kirk Cousins is not even close. I'd rather have him by a mile. All right, that was fun. Moving on, my next tier. This is the tier that I'm really attacking. That I want. So
this is what I want to talk about.
Yeah. So from starting at QB 12, I have Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Tyrod Taylor, Matthew Stafford, Phillip Rivers, Andy Dalton, Carson Wentz.
All right, so let's break this down one at a time here because there's a lot of people in that tier.
Yeah.
Who's the first one? Jameis?
Yeah, we can do Jameis and Mariota.
All right, well let's do that. So you have Jameis where?
12.
I have him at 11. So
Wait,
we're pretty
so you have him
close.
ahead of Ben?
What? I have Jameis way ahead of Ben. I have Ben. It's 16.
Okay, cool. All right, I was trying to figure out where we were split there.
Oh yeah, I love Jameis.
Yeah, I mean we're one spot apart.
So
I
you
love
want
him
to
too.
start? You want to? Why do you like Jameis? Start with you.
I think Deshaun Jackson is really the missing piece for this offense. Like that, I mean, Jameis has had 2 really strong seasons, and he was my boy last year. Like I was just driving the bandwagon all summer, and he had a good year, but he didn't quite get there. He won. He had some big games, but he wasn't great every week, and he cost you some weeks for sure. But I think getting Deshaun Jackson and replacing they had fucking like Adam Humphries and Russell Shepard, who's like can barely make the Panthers shitty fucking receiving core now, and they got this OJ Howard rookie who is like massive, right? He's fucking massive. He's gonna.
Yeah, you can run 2 tight end sets too. Just Cameron Braid is good.
I love Cam Brate. He saved my ass so many weeks last year. I played him on DraftKings basically every
So
week.
many weeks in DFS. I was gonna say he was like the GOAT DFS player.
Yeah, I played him like every fucking week, and yeah, so I think like the volume is always going to be there for Jameis, like the passing yards, and I think the touchdowns are going to start to really pile in this year. Like I feel good about saying he's going to throw like 32 touchdowns and maybe rush for four more.
Yeah, I mean he's got to cut down on the picks, right? And his accuracy has to improve. He had the second highest rate of uncatchable passes, which is a little concerning considering he had Mike Evans and Vincent Jackson out there, and they're both 6'5".
But Vincent Jackson's been dead for like how many years? He's a corpse.
I mean, yeah, okay, fine. He had Mike Evans out there, and he's 6'5".
Well, that's why I love Deshaun Jackson on this team. Is like he was throwing. There were games where Mike Evans would have 17, 18 targets into double coverage, and it's like they can't double cover Evans every single time. Like, are you going to really have your second and third corner or your second corner one-on-one with Deshaun Jackson for a whole game?
And you don't, well, especially if they go, if they go 2 wide receivers and 2 tight ends, and you have Jackson and Evans on one side, and then Howard and Bray out there.
Yeah,
like that's a massive nightmare.
You can't.
I love this offense, and they also don't have a running game, right? Doug Martin's out at least 3 games. We don't even know if he's good. Yeah. We know Chris Rogers isn't really good, but he's not a bell cow.
He actually had a couple good games at 30+
carries. Fantasy games. I mean,
yeah.
I don't. Do you think a guy who's almost 30 and is 5'6" is going to make it through the season?
Didn't they draft someone?
No. Yeah, Charles Sims, but he's not a bell cow either.
No, I thought they drafted someone. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, he's not. Chris Rogers is not great. They did draft someone.
Yeah. So I mean, I love that offense, and I love Jameis's arm talent, and I love the team around him. And he's, just for the record, he is the 5th easiest schedule as far as fantasy goes.
Yep. Okay. So
I'm good on him.
I love him too. We're just one spot apart there. No big deal.
Yep.
Next I have Marcus Mariota, who I also really love, but I'm a little bit hesitant with him. It seemed like a lot of the damage he did last year was they had a super easy schedule last year.
Yeah, no, I know. So I mean, right, there's the thing about him, right, is where he's going. There's some upside. So his ADP is 118, and there was a 9-week stretch where he averaged 24 points per game.
Man, he was like a top 5 quarterback for half the season.
Yeah, but I mean, they got more weapons, right? You got Eric Decker, you brought in Corey Davis, still Delaney Walker. You're gonna have a good running game, but he's got a middling schedule. The volume isn't great, and they don't really let him run.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing with him is, are they going to let him run? I don't know. But he was
I would take a flyer on him, right? But I don't feel great about him going in as my number 1 quarterback. I have him at 14.
Yeah, I have him at 12, just at that. Like, okay, if he ends up being my starter, I'll feel good about it. I won't be taking anybody else. Because I just refuse to carry 2 quarterbacks unless I really need to. But yeah, I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to have a lot of strong weeks, and he might bust you here and there, but especially he fucking moves the ball like efficiently, and Eric Decker is so underrated. He's gonna really help them move.
What was his injury last year? I was trying to remember. Was it torn ACL?
It was ACL, and he broke his foot. Like, so that's the thing is like, is he gonna be 100%? Well, I mean, obviously these rankings are before a preseason game is played. We don't really, he's been on the field and stuff, but we don't.
Yeah, because I love Eric Decker as a talent.
Yeah,
and I love his wife.
And he's super hot. Eric Decker is like such a red zone beast, and obviously Delaney Walker's still there, and he's awesome too. Like, this team is good. I think they're gonna win that division, which makes me fucking sick to say. but they might win. They kind of
With all the
remind me.
money, the digress, man. Just kidding.
No,
I don't want to digress on that.
yeah, they're not going to win the division. I'm not fucking like.
All right, we're similar on a Mariota, so let's move off.
All right, I got Tyrod Taylor next.
Oh, so where's that?
13.
13.
Yeah, where?
I'm 14. We're close.
You have him where?
14. We're close. I love him. The guy gets buckets, man.
Yeah.
He just gets buckets. My problem with him is he's never played 16 games, and I don't expect him to.
I can say that about anybody on this fucking list outside of like the top 5 guys.
You
know what I mean?
can't.
Derek Carr, Ben Roethlisberger, Cam Newton, Marcus Mariota,
Not Matt Stafford, not Kirk Cousins.
Andrew Luck. No, I know, but I said half the guys in the whatever. So
Yeah, and I that goes into my evaluation.
yeah. So anyway, the injury thing isn't really a concern of mine. The concern of mine is like how many touchdowns is he going to put up? But the rushing floor is just so wonderful. Like a lot of these guys like he has a floor with his rushing that I can't say for anybody we've talked about so far. Like, you know, Mariota can run, Dak can run, Russell Wilson, Cam, like these guys can run. Tyrod Taylor will run every week.
No, and I agree. So on a points per game basis, Tyrod Taylor has been the top 10 quarterback the last 2 years. I love Tyrod Taylor. I love his ADP. I just think you need to have you need to be prepared to go get a second guy in case he gets hurt. And his schedule is great too. He has the 8th easiest schedule.
Yeah, he's going at 131.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's fucking nonsense. Like, why would you take Big Ben at 90? Actually, if you were going to take Big Ben, the guy you target is Tyrod, because I would love to let Tyrod in.
What, 55 picks after Cam Newton? Give me.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's
just people are bad at fantasy. That's why they should.
4.5 rounds. Like, there's just it's a no fucking brainer.
Yeah, it's insane.
All right. So
and he, by the way, he was a top 10 quarterback last year with LaShawn McCoy missing 3 games and Sammy Watkins playing.
Yeah, Sammy Watkins is healthy. That's really, really big. I mean, hopefully he's finally ready to like kind of break out this year. If he's
healthy, Sammy Watkins is dominant. He dominates games when he's healthy.
No, he's awesome. It's just we haven't really seen him healthy for a
it never happens. It's.
All right.
I almost said something inappropriate. Let's just keep moving.
Before we get banned from Twitch.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have Matthew Stafford next. You're an NFC.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that. See, this is where I knew we would be. What's up with Matthew Stafford, man?
He just fucking the volume is just insane. He's been a top 12 quarterback at basically every year of his career, and the volume isn't going away. He throws touchdowns. I mean, he feels super safe to me. Like I don't, I mean, does he have upside to the top 5? Probably not.
So where you have him?
14.
Yeah. See, I think you're too low. I have him 10.
Oh, okay. I thought I was taking the wrong side. I thought you were.
No, man. You have the right idea. You're making my case for you.
No, he feels super safe. He feels super safe to me, but I don't think he has the upside that the 3 guys we just talked about have, who all have to me like top 8, top 7, top 8 upside. Where Matthew Stafford is kind of like Phillip Rivers in the sense where he's never gonna really sink your team, but he's gonna put up a few huge games, but he's not gonna carry you, put up 25 points a game. Like,
so the thing is, Matthew Stafford indoors will carry you, and he has 10 indoors games this year, which he had last year, right? So he had 10 indoor game last year, and I think he finished 9th. So he puts up 19 a game indoors and 14 outdoors, right? So that's you don't want to play him outdoors. So that's my one hesitation, right? But the volume is there, like you said. That defense is worse this year than it was last year. It's gonna be worse, and they're not gonna be able to run the ball again.
No,
their running game is short passes.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, even at 14, I know like we're talking like a 12-team league. Like if I end up with Matt Stafford as my quarterback in a 12-team league, I feel completely fine. That's my thing. With this whole tier that we're in now is like, I'll be fine if I get one of these guys. I don't even care.
Yeah, ADP 111. Sign me up.
Yeah.
I took him in round 15 last year.
Yeah, and I'm going to probably end up with some Matthew Stafford because you always have those donkeys who are taking 2 quarterbacks and like, 11 teams took a quarterback. I'm good. I can wait. We're good. I'm going to take whoever I want. And then all of a sudden,
they should take 2 before I take 1.
And Phillip Rivers start flying off the board, and you're like, fuck.
I'll end up with Tyrod and like Carson Wentz, and I'll be fine.
Yeah. I just need one. Give me one of them. Well, Carson Wentz is the kind of the board. He's the last guy I have in this tier borderline where I'm like, I might need to take another quarterback. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about him. I have him at 20. Anyway.
Yeah. Next, I have Philip Rivers and Andy Dalton.
Okay, so we can do Philip Rivers quick. So the thing about Philip Rivers, right, he needs to keep the turnovers down. I think, like, he led the league in hits last year with 21.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of lost points.
That's going to come down.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't see him come down. I think Melvin Gordon emerged last year. They're going to run the ball, and that defense this year is going to be spectacular. My one concern is that Mike Evans is already hurt. Or not Mike Evans, I'm sorry. Mike Williams is already hurt. So as far as wide receiver help,
we got a troll in the chat. Troll JWaltz88 in the chat asking if we can do audio only.
Jesus. Anyway, let's just keep it moving. I'm not even acknowledging that. So his number one receiver is coming off a torn ACL, right? He hasn't really played in 2 years, basically. He played one game last year, and the year before he got hurt after 5 games. Keenan Allen, when healthy, is a star, but I don't know if he's going to be healthy.
I think he's healthy. If you look at his last 16 games, like so the last full season he played, it's like wide receiver 5 in PPR.
He's elite, but he's never healthy.
He fucking destroyed me last year. I had him in every league, and he fucking destroyed me.
Yeah, I mean that was a tough one too, because that was that non-contact ACL. I mean, I like Philip Rivers. Here's the thing: everyone needs to keep knowing of Philip Rivers. It's really important. So weeks 13 through 16, when your fantasy playoffs are happening, Jets. This is not in order. I'm doing it from memory, but it's Jets, Redskins, Chiefs, and Browns. Love that schedule in the playoffs. Philip Rivers is going to win people some leads.
Yeah, I like Philip Rivers, and he's another guy. I have him at 15, but I still feel fine if he ends up being my quarterback.
I have him at 16.
Now, what's your take on Andy Dalton? I think we're gonna kind of I have him here. So where do you have him?
I mean, not that far behind. I have him at 19. So the thing about Andy Dalton is, I just don't think he's good at football. Every time I watch him play, I just am not blown away. And that talent around that team, like, yeah, they went out and got John Ross to go with AJ Green, but you can't trust Eifert to be healthy. And he has 6 rushing touchdowns last year. That's a variance. You can't expect that.
He's actually had a solid number of rushing touchdowns like every year. Like, I mean, 6 maybe not, but he's gonna have 3.
Yeah, okay, 3's not 6. I mean, he's reasonably mobile. He's mobile in the way that like Rodgers is mobile. Like, he's mobile.
Yeah, like Alex Smith or whatever. The god.
Yeah, but I don't really love his talent. I think he's like really mediocre, and I don't think his weapons are elite. And I just don't think there's a lot of upside there. His schedule's not brutal, right? That division is 3 not good defenses.
AJ Green's pretty elite.
Yeah. Well, that's one guy. Okay, let me rephrase. I don't love his wide receivers other than AJ Green. I don't trust Tyler Eifert to stay healthy, and I actually think this is going to be a run-heavy offense. You don't take the baggage of Joe Mixon to not feed that man the rock.
Yeah,
Joe Mixon.
If you look at his finishes every year of his career, I mean, there were years where, I mean, they give running backs 30 carries a game, but like Jeremy Hill was getting 20 and Gio was getting 10, and you know what I mean? And Andy Dalton was still putting up top 10 seasons. Yeah,
but you got to remember that team. So I know that team was when they had AJ Green, Marvin Jones, Mohamed Sanu, and Jermaine Gresham. That team was loaded across the board on weapons.
Tyler Eifert is like 12 times at least better than Jermaine Gresham.
That's true. Tyler Eifert has played 1 season.
Right, but he's twice
in like 4 years.
Yeah, like 12 times the receiver that
I agree. I don't trust him to stay healthy, and I don't think anyone should.
And Marvin Jones is super fucking overrated too. Like, we saw once teams figured him out in Detroit, he didn't do shit the rest of the year.
Marvin Jones is a good number 2, man.
Yeah, he's solid. Whatever. I mean, he's not moving any fucking needles. He's not moving needles. Yeah, because the collection of players moved the needles. I don't know. That was a talented team. Yeah, they won like 13 games. They had a home field in the playoff. I like Andy Dalton where he's going at 130, but he's going ahead of Tyler.
So if let's say hypothetically, right, we're in that shit where all the donkeys draft 2 quarterbacks, and you just have Andy Dalton left. How do you feel about only having Andy Dalton?
Fine. He's never finished outside of the top 15 in season 7.
All right, okay.
I feel fine. I mean, how much different is he than Philip Rivers? Not from a talented quarterback perspective, from like a fantasy points per game perspective, it's really not that different, right?
I mean, it's not different at all. Last year was 16.2 for Dolan and 16.1 for Rivers. It's not that different at all.
No, it's not. So
Yeah,
I think
okay.
the Andy
That's
Dalton
fair.
hate just it comes from his like,
Red hair?
he sucks in the playoffs and he's ginger, he's got red hair, everybody hates him.
What did TJ Watt call him? The red water pistol? The red.
Yeah, from that Christmas Story movie, whatever the red rifle BB gun.
Yeah, something stupid that they made him apologize for.
Yeah, so right. I mean, it's really I'm fine. Andy Dalton's fine. Whatever. I
All right.
And then Carson Wentz is the last guy I have in this tier.
I mean, his schedule is middle of the road. I think that defense is good.
Offensive line projects to be one of the 3 best in the league.
Yeah. Do you think there's a ton of throwing? I hate his wide receivers.
Alshon Jeffrey.
I love Alshon Jeffrey,
Jordan
but
Matthews is very good.
Here's the thing about Alshon Jeffrey, dude. As someone who's owned Alshon Jeffrey a lot, he's made of tissue paper. He's just made of tissue paper. Like, do we think Alshon Jeffrey's going to play 16 games?
No.
Yeah, I mean, that matters.
They got LeGarrette Blount, the God. He's good.
I mean, at this point, at this point though, like I don't have any problem. Like we're talking, I have him at 20. You have him at what? 16? Like
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever. I mean, he's in the same area for me. I don't disagree.
He's mobile. He has rushing upside that like can win you weeks. He can. I mean, he's going to have a game where he rushes for 60 yards and a touchdown and throws for 250 and 2.
Yeah, he's a bye week guy. He's a plug and play based on the matchups.
Yeah.
But you know,
I have him in my like borderline starters. He's the last guy in my I guess I can start you tier. I guess is what we'll call it. So
okay, yeah, I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah, I think I think he's got rushing upside, and I think the offensive line is really good, and I think that I think going from what their number one. I mean, Jordan Matthews is not really a number 1 wide receiver, and obviously with Zach Ertz there.
Yeah, whenever your number 1's a slot guy, that's always a problem.
Right. So I think Alshon Jeffrey is just going to make this team a lot better just by being there. So,
I agree.
So anyway, I like Carson Wentz this year.
Maybe I got to rethink that. I think I might be a little too low on him.
Yeah, so this next tier, we can just kind of fly through it.
We talked about guys we hate really quick. I hate Eli Manning.
Yeah, I hate Carson Palmer, and I hate Eli Manning. Carson Palmer's dead, and Eli Manning I refuse to play because I hate his face.
All right. So we need to talk about this. I'm higher on Carson Palmer than you, and I just also want to talk shit about Eli. So Eli Manning, he has finished in the top 10 once in fantasy. Once.
He's led the league in interceptions 4 times in his career, but that's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
He's the most overrated quarterback of my lifetime.
Yeah, he's like a league
overrated quarterback of my lifetime.
You win.
It's unbelievable. I don't get it. Odell Beckham has extended his career 3 years.
How
He'd already
much
be out.
better is Eli Manning than Andy Dalton? Really?
He's not better than Andy Dalton.
Like as a player today, like how much better?
Hey, he's not.
Yeah, he's not. But Giants fans.
If anything, Eli hamstrung the Giants offense last year. They all my friends who are Giants fans cry about the offensive line and make excuses for Eli, but he was super inaccurate.
Yeah, he sucks.
He had like the 7th worst accuracy rating in the league last year.
Yeah, he's led the league in picks 4 times. Like that's a Hall of Fame quarterback to you? No. Okay.
Yeah. No, I know.
Carson Palmer was a dead person. You like him?
I don't like him. I just think there's like a little bit outside there.
The Night King.
There's a little bit outside there. Like, so, like last year it looked like it was over, right? But if we're throwing a dart at the end, I don't have a problem because I do think he's going to get some volume. That defense isn't going to be as good as it was last year. They're going to have to throw a little bit more. It is DJ's team, so I don't expect him to get a certain amount of volume.
He's old. He's dead.
He is an old man, but
Gabbard is starting for this team by like week 5.
All right, that's insane. That's not happening. Blaine Gabbert is never no.
No, he might not even make the roster. He's their 3rd quarterback.
He looked great in preseason. Blaine Gabbert, God.
He was. I saw on Twitter he was
It's
doing
Cowboys backup.
I played him in
140.
preseason DFS, so I know I promised DFS tilt, but I haven't actually looked at my team. So you could talk about Blake Bortles and Ryan Tannehill while I pull that up.
Well, Ryan Tannehill might have blown out his knee. So.
No, I saw that didn't happen. I think.
Okay. All right. Well, basically, I actually think they're similar, right? So the way that those teams are treating them, so the second half of the year, the Dolphins were much better, and they were much better because they took the ball out of Tannehill's hand, right? his attempts came way down, and Ajayi's carries went way up. I would expect more of the same this year. They're going to run the ball and play defense. So you lose the volume upside, and then like he can run a little bit. So like maybe there's a week against a bad team, you plug him in. Blake Bortles, you literally never play. You never play him. They're going to hand the ball to Fournette a million times with that defense.
In DFS against the Browns or whatever, and the Packers probably.
Yeah, that's DFS. In season long, if I have to play Blake Bortles, I'm really nervous.
Yeah. Do you actually? I mean, there are going to be weeks where your quarterback has a bye week and Blake Bortles has a good matchup where you're chasing the upside there. Obviously, you know there's risk, but there's going to be weeks.
Yeah, the upside is what it used to be because that defense is fucking good, man. They're not going to get down by 3 touchdowns anymore.
On paper, they're that good, but
I'm a believer.
He's going to put them in a bunch of bad spots.
They built it from the D-line, and that D-line is ferocious. I'm a believer.
He's going to put them in a lot of bad spots, that defense.
Yeah, you have a Bortles jersey, don't you?
Yeah, I was going to wear it tonight.
Would you call that a good purchase?
In my office. Huh?
Would you call that a good purchase or a bad purchase?
No, it wasn't good. This is year 4 I've had it. Yeah, things have gone downhill since then. But he has the upside to put up 35 points, to throw 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like, he has that upside. He's done it before. So, you know, you're not starting him every week. He's not even getting drafted. So, like, you can pick him up if you need to and whatever. Ryan Tannehill, I kind of liked him, but it seems like there's no structural damage in his knee. I saw that. There's no structural damage.
Okay, that's good. I didn't see. I just saw he went down bad, like awkwardly.
So he's whatever. They got Julius Thomas reuniting with Adam Gase. I mean, maybe he can get some touchdowns.
I kind of think he's gonna have a bounce back year.
Yeah, he couldn't be any worse, but Jacksonville just doesn't really use the tight end, so I don't know. He didn't really do anything.
Yeah, I know. Julius Thomas murdered me.
They tried to force him the ball. It just didn't really work out. Okay, the last guy I have Joe Flacco and Mike Glennon on here too, but we don't really need to talk about them. But ahead of them, I want to talk about the Houston situation. So Deshaun Watson is going at 121. Now that is ahead of Tyrod Taylor, Andy Dalton, Carson Wentz, and everyone we talked about after that.
That's hype. That's hype.
So
it's
he's not even the starter yet.
I mean, I would expect him to be the starter by week 4.
Sure, but you're not drafting a quarterback who's not starting, right? I mean,
no, and even if you we're drafting someone for the upside, the upside isn't there. The Texans are not going to throw the ball a billion times. Like I actually like Deshaun Watson the player. I think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. I have no read for him as to when he's going to start or how.
I don't really have anything to say about him either. I just wanted to kind of mention how crazy his ADP is.
No, it's insane, and we need to just one more time the disrespect to Ty God is just fucking madness.
If you have someone like Tyrod Taylor, like Marcus Mariota, Carson Wentz, maybe you want to take Deshaun Watson, but if you want to take a second quarterback with those guys, like if you're not going to roll with just one, maybe you want to take him. But
I'm not taking Watson unless it's a two quarterback league, and even then.
If you had to draft a backup quarterback, would you rather take Watson or Eli Manning?
I mean, dude, you can't draft a quarterback who's not starting.
Okay, Watson or Carson Palmer. You like Carson Palmer, so forget that. Watson or Blake Bortles?
Again, I just can't bring myself to draft a quarterback we don't know is starting or when he's going to play. Yeah. I know I'm going to get at least 1 point from Blake Bortles. I don't know if I'm getting any.
You're drafting a backup quarterback to hopefully never play him and maybe play him during bye weeks or down the line, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would never do that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. So no Deshaun Watson for you. I only carry one quarterback, and based on my list, I have 17 quarterbacks I feel okay with rolling as my only quarterback on my roster. So
yeah, I'm only going to draft one. There's no scenario where I don't draft one quarterback.
Update. I am in the money in both of my NFL preseason contests. I'm in 16th place right now of a $5 contest. We're in the money.
I can't believe you're playing DFS in preseason. You're such a degenerate.
I know. It is pretty gross.
Yeah, it's other.
All right.
But I think we're through this, right?
Yeah.
Did we just finish a podcast?
We did. We finished our first live stream podcast.
Love it.
I know. So let's get out of here. Thanks for watching. Nobody, not one viewer. That's okay.
No, we got James.
No,
Thanks, James.
Yeah, he was here for a minute. He bounced like puss. All right, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Todd Stender. He's at Brad_Stender. And we will see you next week for running backs.
All right. See you, team.